And we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to Patreon. And if you're new to Patreon, thank you for joining. And it's Friday.
It
It's
is Friday.
beautiful outside, and it is absolutely a great day. Any day's a great day to have Jenny Moonstone as a guest. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you, Ben. Thanks. This is an amazing Friday. I don't know if your listeners know, but you and I happen to live maybe an hour apart. We're both here on the beautiful west coast of Florida. And really, it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I should be bragging on this place because we've gotten so many people, millions of people just in the last few years. Like, no, Florida sucks. Stay,
Yeah.
stay where you are. But we've seen just a huge influx of people that want to be free.
Yes, and me and my wife and our dog we're actually part of those millions who
But you guys
flooded to Florida.
You guys are cool.
Right. Now, starting now, no one else can come in.
Right, no more. We're closing the gates. Florida doesn't anymore.
Florida is beautiful. Me and my wife, we actually found this island in what is it, Palm Island?
Sounds about right.
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, like the sand is white.
White.
It's this cute little island, and it's like there's food, restaurants, there's everything you'd want to do. Mm-hmm. And it's 15 minutes from our house. We drive over, have lunch, we can come back or whatever. I love Florida. I don't know why we didn't move here sooner.
Everything in its own time. Everything in divine time. I've been a resident of Florida. I moved here from Hungary, actually, Europe, where my dad worked when I was 14. And so I've been here.
I actually need to use the restroom because I'm home. So what I want you to do is
tell everyone, talk.
And you should be able to see the
comments
chat room over here.
Actually, I can.
Yep.
Good morning. Oh, hello, everybody. I can see.
Yep.
Awesome. All right.
If you have any questions for Jenny, shoot them over in the chat room while this old man goes and uses the restroom. And while we wait for questions, you have an interesting childhood.
I do.
The whole growing up as a military brat and traveling all over the world, and let the people know who you are and what you're all about.
All right, I will do. You go relieve yourself, good sir. Hi, everybody. Hi. So hi, Steve. So I don't have I don't know if we put the link to my professional website in the description, but if what you're looking for is a one-on-one tarot card reading with me, you're going to want to go to my website, which is jennyconstantine.com. But my Patreon, which I have officially launched today, that link is also, or that link I know for sure is in the description box. And so if you want to go ahead and support me and enable my ability to do more of what I was put on this earth to do, then please go ahead and support me over on Patreon. So no, my father was not United States Marine Corps. My father, who I lovingly and jokingly dubbed my deep state dad. He is a State Department official and has been for most of his life. So this is why I call him my deep state dad. I was born into an intelligence family. And what I mean by intelligence, I mean the letter agencies. So he's done work over the course of his career with all of the letter agencies. And when you've kind of been on that side of things, you come to the understanding that although it seems compartmentalized, you know, the FBI, the CIA, the DOD, you know, all of these, the State Department, they all seem from an outsider's perspective to be compartmentalized and separate entities, but they're actually, on some level, they all share a common thread. And so they share employees, they share some information with each other. So there's kind of just this illusion of separatism between the intelligence agencies. I mean, certainly the foundational structure of them is quite compartmentalized, but they all are working together to some degree. Now, I didn't know growing up the depth of the machine, and I certainly didn't know firsthand that the world that I was living in, I didn't know the whole nature or the scope of it, but I did have this deep knowing in my bones that I was not going to follow that path. I was never going to work for any government agencies. And probably like a lot of you, much like a lot of you, I felt that I was the black sheep of this family. And so I wear the United States Marine Corps shirt because part of my father's job description he was to interview and vet and sort of, he was like the one that could pick and choose the Marines that were looking to get hired for what was called the Marine Security Guard Detachment. And so this is a very, very elite group of Marines that are stationed at all of the embassies that the State Department has all over the world. And so my father, you know, mainly it was counterterrorism and foreign affairs. And he just found himself in the position at all of these places that we lived in. He found himself in the position of working directly with the Marines. And so I've grown up around Marines. They're part of my soulscape. That culture I've adopted as part of my culture, even though I was never actually a Marine myself. I just feel a great affinity for the Marine Corps in particular, but the armed services in general. And I would really like to make the distinction between the military-industrial complex, which is a machine, and the men and women of our armed forces, past, present, and future. They're why I do this. They are so important to me. And it's kind of like this weird dichotomy that I run into a lot in this space, because a lot of people think that our military and everything that the military has done is like the reason why we're in this shit show. And it's like, well, to an extent, yeah, you know, everybody's just kind of following orders, but the spirit and the energy that's been required, that has been asked of men and women of our military throughout its inception, throughout its operation, you know, they are the backbone of this country. You know, the sacrifices they've made, what it took of them to give everything to a dream, to each other. You know, for me, that is kind of the epitome of the human spirit, the indomitable human spirit, is who these people are at the end of the world. You know, in combat, it's, you know, they're not thinking about home. They're not thinking about God and country. They're not thinking about the flag. They're not thinking about their superiors. They are there for each other. And to me, in all the work that I've done, that is kind of the epitome of this sort of galvanization of the human soul, is kind of it's all within this framework of what happens when men or women are faced with potential and or certain death, what they are willing to do, where the soul goes in those moments where they are just willing to die for each other. To me, it is the epitome of unconditional love. And if you were to go over to my Patreon, you'll see I've dedicated that entire page and all of my work that I've done, past, present, and future, to the men and women of our military, past, present, and future. And yeah, so Ben's back. I hope you're feeling better.
I do. Well, when you drink as much coffee as I do, and I live on like coffee and like those little energy shots, I love those. Those are like,
That'll do it.
the older you get, the more help you need, like getting going in the morning. Your engine runs good. It's just getting it going that's the hard part.
I hear you.
But it's your point of view is so unique, and your talents are so unique. And I've actually talked with people who have had sessions with you who are like, it's a moment, and I'm not exaggerating, folks, I pinky swear, it's a moment that shifts the trajectory of their life after they have a session with you, because it's, you initially go in very, okay, what's going to happen? I don't know, like, any of this. What's, like,
Yeah.
how's this go? And from what I've heard, actually from people that have used you several times, is you handhold them through the reading, and you're very you're almost like their spiritual guide through this new revealing of this new world they're entering. Because a lot of people have lived in the matrix for so long that they don't understand that the real reality is what you're doing, what that human to human enlightenment and raising up and focusing and messaging and that energy transfer is reality. You know, I mean, we live in a world where a lot of what we absorb is off of a screen.
Yeah.
So it isn't a message for you generally when you're watching a screen. You're watching a movie that's made for the masses. You're watching a show that's made for the masses. Hey, looks like Bob's awake.
What is that? Is that a motion sensing camera?
Yeah.
Wow. But you named him Bob. Hey, Bob, I'm over here.
Yeah. And when you come over and I show you the whole setup here.
Oh man.
And if we ever want to get fancy, I'll just go, well, let's go to the extra camera. And we can share the extra camera, and I can walk over and write things over there And
Nice.
that camera will also track me. So if
Wow.
I'm moving around, it will actually track
That is
wherever I go.
amazing.
Yeah, it's I'll teach you the tricks of the trade, young lady.
Thank you. I'm all
And,
ears.
and it's these after they have a reading with you. I think what I've heard from people is you open them up to reality, that they leave a session with you with, and they've lost a piece of loneliness.
Aw.
This is where I get emotional, because reality is emotional. You know, is your sessions are so intimate that they really connect with you on a soul level. And once you've uh, linked or even touched souls with another person, you have that memory, you have that kind of echo that that person, you know, touched your life. And that's what a lot of people are missing. They
Yeah.
don't have those soul connections. And I highly recommend anybody watching, reach out, have one reading with Jenny, or join her Patreon, because the energy that you're going to get from her and the communication, because especially when you join her Patreon, what you're going to get is you're going to learn that she's joining the Patreon is joining her world, and 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 allowing yourself to be introduced to another level of reality that a lot of people haven't ever been to. And it's a soul level. And that's why I let's see. We have a question from David. Are readings always in person? Can they be done remotely?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're done. Most of my sessions are done remotely. I have clients in Kandahar, Afghanistan, New Zealand, India, and so most of my sessions are done via Zoom audio, and they can be recorded as well.
Yeah, and so you have a copy of your session with her, so that you can, because I'm sure a lot of your sessions get very emotional.
They do. They do.
And sometimes when you're emotional, you don't remember the moment as accurately as you do when you're not emotional. But it's important to allow yourself to get emotional, because, and please tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Emotions, human emotion, is the communication of reality. Right? And your level of emotion is just a volume. It's 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 how loud you need the to actually be so that the universe sends you an appropriate response. Like if you lose a loved, pet, you're sad. You love your dog or your cat or your mouse or whatever, and you're sad. Your level of emotional response is actually set at the level that the universe will send you the energies you need in order to get over that and through it. Where if you lose a parent or a close friend or a wife or a husband or something like that, your level of emotion goes way up, where the universe knows the level of healing it needs to send you. And that, if you translate it into a relationship with God, that's the saying that God will never give you more than you can handle. Because what is happening in your life, the reason that God, the universe, knows you can handle it is because the universe knows you're not going to handle it alone. And that emotional level is sent back to you so that you can absorb and deal with whatever emotional event that you're going through. Does that sound right?
It totally does. It totally, I've noticed that all things really are a mirror. They're a reflection of ourselves. And I feel that it is that way because Creator, Source, God is very much alive within the human body, within the genome, within the soul. And, it's interesting. The work I've done with people over the years, I have noticed that most people, like 99% of the people that I have worked with, they are intuitively, they are so attuned to themselves and they know these answers. They have these answers. But by the time they come to me, they're looking for confirmation that their own intuitive power is true, is real, because I believe that all things are written, recorded into some kind of a collective library.
A blockchain.
It's a blockchain, a consciousness blockchain. And all I am doing is I've done the work. I believe that anybody can do this if they want, but like, this is what I was put here to do, is to kind of open up the user's manual to allow anybody that wants to gain access to the this consciousness blockchain. There is nothing that is truly secret from you. Anything that you want to understand, anything you seek to know, the universe hears you and sees you and will mirror, maybe not the answers in the way that you expected it. I can't tell you, 9 times out of 10, the answer comes in a form that we weren't expecting at all. because the universe is that creative. It's so creative. There's comedy to it. I laugh every day because I'm like, oh my God, this is a cosmic comedy. It's funny how things work out. But yeah, I know you're exactly right. The vibrations, the sort of the signature for me, like in somebody's vocal cords when they speak their name at the beginning of a session, there's information encoded on that sound wave. And so what I'm attempting to do through the conduit of my body is to translate, like I told you, I feel like a linguistic specialist more so than anything else. I'm attempting to translate that sound. When you speak your own name, when Ben speaks his name or what his friends call him or his family calls him, he is emitting with that sound a plethora of data encoded on this sound wave. And our ability to decode and to receive information just from a sound or a word, we have it. It's just a matter of breaking it down. And like you said, the matrix it's not real. It is a surgically accurate illusion. It is a powerful illusion. But everything that exists just outside the peripheral scope, because we have a bandwidth like this, we can see only what we can see. But there are parts of your body, parts of your being, parts of your vessel that are in fact designed to perceive everything that exists outside of that bandwidth. And that's the realm that I work in. It's just been really cool because most of the time we can confirm what we're seeing with that third eye or that sort of outside that bandwidth. We can confirm that this and this are the same thing. There's real validation and confirmation with this kind of work. It's not like, oh, I can't prove that was true. It's like, yes, you can. Just wait. Or for the most part, people already know. And the cards are not, they're not going to lie. The cards don't lie because they're a mirror reflection. The mirror doesn't lie. You only lie to yourself. People lie to themselves. People lie to each other. But you can't lie to God. You cannot lie to consciousness because it's a mirror. So yeah. And emotions, oh man. I mean, Ben and I have talked about emotions. The first time we met, I knew you were a Pisces instantly. Pisces is the 12th house energy. And since it's the last sign of the zodiac, a true Piscean person embodies all of the previous 12 houses, the previous 12 signs. And so Pisceans are typically very emotionally and telepathically involved in collectives, and they feel that they'll receive that in emotion, colors, art. This is why you see a lot of Pisceans as artists, musicians, playwrights, actors, things like that. But yeah, you guys, and my Patreon, I've gotten some great counsel on how to formulate all of it. And really I'll wake up each and every day and I'll head to my Facebook, which I've had for many years, and I'll do some kind of a dream download. I'll get some kind of an intense vision overnight, and then I'll type up like an essay like this long and I'll share it. And everybody's like, oh, Jenny, I wish you just do a short video on this, because that's how Source communicates to me. Very visual. I'll have a lot of very intense dreams and symbolism, and the world around me will then send me signal after signal after signal, which I trust myself. But like you said, I trust God more. I trust that God will deliver me exactly incrementally what I need to know when I need to know it. And then I feel very guided to share that with the people that connect with me and resonate with my point of view and my mission statement and my vision. So that's where I'm at. And I'm just really loving the support and the feedback that I'm getting. It's been really great.
Yeah. I am, let's see.
And oh yeah, and I'll say also too, I'm doing the work I've done with Bix, I've done a lot, used my skill set to try to track and understand the crypto space. But I do plan on working with the crypto space, using my skill set to, you know, track Bitcoin, track Theta, track silver and gold. But I've decided I think I'm going to make that more exclusive content for people that really, really want it. Because again, everything it's a mirror. You know, if you sort of, what did I say recently? The effort is the ritual. If you, the effort is the spell. So, and that goes for everything. That goes for a nutrition plan. That goes for a fitness routine. That goes for a job, a relationship, how you are as a mother. Your effort is the prayer. You are your body, your voice, your presence, your speech, everything. You are the embodiment of a prayer. You are a living, breathing, thinking, sentient prayer. So it's important that you take that into consideration every time you walk out that door. And you know, I want people to know that God lives inside of them, and no matter who you are, where you come from, what you've done, you're seen. The universe sees you. And 100% of my clientele, I can tell you with confidence, everybody just wants to be seen. They want to be seen because they feel this greatness within themselves. They feel this light. They feel guided. They feel like, oh my God, like I am somebody. I am, you know, but then they come to me and they're like, I just need somebody else to see me. I just need to be seen. And the concept of witness, I don't know if this was spoken about in the Bible, but this is something I've been working on lately. The notion of witness, the witness is massive. The witness of what is happening in the collective, a one-on-one witness, to bear witness. Testify. You know what I mean? Like, it's huge. Bearing witness, especially at this time, at this juncture, is everything, because who are we if we are not, you know, who are we in the mirror of each other? You know what I mean? We are really all in this together, not accidentally.
That is why one of the 10 commandments is do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Mm-hmm. And it basically means tell the truth. Mm-hmm. You know, as long as you've got the truth, that's it. That the strongest weapon is the truth. Mm-hmm. And just run with that and you're good.
There you go.
I actually put a link to Jenny's Patreon channel in the comments under my Patreon post. So you all, excuse me, can actually get a hold of her. And see, that's what I like about Patreon, is when you join Patreon, your true people can reach out to you directly and communicate with you directly on Patreon. And I encourage everybody, join her Patreon, watch some of her shows, get to know her, have a session with her, because I'm telling you right now, folks, we're going into a time in this, or on this earth, that we're gonna need hands to hold.
Hands.
And this is why you guys know I don't bring many people on my show. There's a reason I'm bringing Jenny, because I have been led that people are going to need her in the future and now. So, as you guys know, I only do what I'm told. I don't know why, but it's not my job to know why God needs me to do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job just to do it and go, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So, Jenny, thank you for joining us on Patreon.
Thank you so
And
much.
and I look forward to watching your shows on Patreon, and just one of these days we'll have you over to the house. We'll have some barbecue. We'll hang out in the pool, relax, have a few drinks, and enjoy this beautiful Florida weather.
Beautiful.
So everyone have a great day.
Happy
Enjoy
Friday.
and that's about it. Jenny, enjoy your weekend, hon.
Thank you, Ben. You too. Bye, everybody. Thank you for being so kind.